Here's a little bit of a message for you. Pedestrian, bicycles, motor-driven cycles are what? Prohibited. This is America. Welcome to America, a non-walking community. We do not like walking here in our country. We like people to drive. Mr. Ford dominates our culture here still. Pedestrians, bicycles, motor-driven cycles are prohibited because we don't want people to walk in the country. We want to encourage people to drive and pay lots and lots of money each month to have the privilege to be able to drive. But as now we're finding out, it's not even a privilege to be able to have the opportunity to drive in America. It's a requirement because look how limited you are in regards to mobility. And you look at the prices of Uber here, man. Why don't you compare the price of how expensive it is to take an Uber here in America compared to if you take one in China. It's not called Uber in China. It's obviously called something else. I think it's Didi. But you're not going to pay $40 fucking to get, 20 miles somewhere. Here to go 6 miles, you have to pay like something ridiculous, $20, $25. And I'm just not really buying that at this moment in time. Okay. Well, I've stumbled upon something here. Along the side of the highway that's quite ironic, I guess you say. And that is, I see a walking path down here. But the problem is that I have not seen any kind of entrance to this walking path whatsoever. So I'm cutting down into the woods here to hopefully not have any serious injuries or anything to get to it, because I'm curious about it. It may be something that's been closed for a while and they just decided, hey, you think that if it was still open that you would have seen some cyclists go by at this point in time. So there is some kind of walking, cycling path nearby the highway, but it is most definitely highly inaccessible. And I'm not seeing any signs for it whatsoever so far. Be careful, because I'm not the most athletically inclined person out there. We have some thorns here. I'm not a huge fan of thorns, so let's just say goodbye to the thorns. They keep predicting thunderstorms. You saw earlier, folks, that the air was full of nothing but signs of thunder and rain and storms coming, but guess what? It never came. It's just hovering. That's what it likes to do. It likes to hover and cause problems. Mm-hmm. Get closer. Okay. One thing about these videos I like is that sometimes we might be able to make some pretty cool discoveries. Alright, what do we got here? A path. It's a secret path because there's no way to access it any other way. So the question is, which direction shall we go? I don't know, man. An unused pathway. Did you see my t-shirt that I'm wearing today? This is only a drill. The joke being that it really is only a drill. I'm not going to go too far. I'm not really in a highly adventurous mood today. We're venturing out miles and miles beyond what my ultimate goal was. But let's just see what the cat brings out of the bag for us here. We are coming up on a landmark. It's the bridge. This is the highway bridge that we were just on. Okay. Cuts underneath the bridge here. Oh, you do have some waste baskets here, so there's a sign that people want to encourage you to still throw stuff away anyway. Oh, and they even say recycle too. Okay. This would be good from a photographer's standpoint. Which is where I kind of get my technique and style from. Most people would just whiz right through this, but I kind of like to stop and give people the chance to kind of feel like they're actually here in this space with me, and to kind of get an idea of what it might feel like to actually be here. I see we're coming up on, it looks like this path might still be active, but it's just too hot today, I guess, for people to be outside. It's not that hot down here. It's cool underneath the bridges. It's amazing how we figured out bridges so quickly. The Romans, it's amazing what the Romans were able to do. Okay. Over here, in this perspective, you have so it is nice because when you don't have a car, you do get out and have the chance to discover some other things. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go back to the record store anymore that I went to last night. I'm still going to post a video just to show, you know, kind of imagery of what it is I like to do in my free time, and how hunting for records can be quite pleasant experience. Unfortunately, her pricing system really drove me away from the place, and it's just a matter of principle for me. I wanted to go and take the review down today, but unfortunately it was too late. She had ended up writing a really bad, she wrote a reply to my review, and it was a really negative and harsh reply. She was really offended by my behavior and attitude last night. And I can understand. It only hits me pretty hard because I now realize what I did, and I've now banned myself from the only record store that is accessible to me at this moment. All the other record stores are in Atlanta. As I said, there's no MARTA system nearby, so I would have to take an Uber. I would be stuck doing that. And need I express to you how much an Uber costs these days in the United States of America to take? It is ridiculous. In China, if you want to go a long way, if you want to go travel, if you want to go see something that's 20 miles, outside of the city? Well, certainly, be my guest. It's cheap. It's reasonable. But here in America, why is everything so highly overpriced here? And how are these people able to continue to be able to afford to live here? The price of the apartments in themselves are absolutely ridiculous. I have nothing but props up. There's no signage in this one. I have props up for all these people who can make it here in the States. I really do. However they do it, they must be really smart, such that they're able to comply with, and they have the ability to be able to work with others in a way such that they're likable enough to the point that they can continue to keep their job. They don't even really have to do very much for their jobs. I see a lot of people just standing around doing nothing, essentially. Jacking around. A lot of people spend a lot of their time jacking around on their jobs. So how is it that they get to keep their jobs? Well, it's easy. It's because they are able to fit in with the system. They're able to cope with the system. They found a way to make it such that they can easily fit in with the system that's been provided for them, such that it's just a lot easier for most people to be able to keep a job on account of the fact that they're able to fit in with other people a lot more easily. And on account of that, being able to socially fit in is one of the more major aspects of being able to keep a job here. It's a social thing, being able to keep a job. You have to be friendly, but not only that, you have to be able to just accept certain things and tolerate certain things that unfortunately I'm not able to tolerate. Criticism from other people, especially if it's not very good criticism, especially if it's criticism coming from a manager who got his job from a friend or something. Okay, we have a lot of different paths we can choose here. I'm going to go ahead and choose the outward path on account of the fact that I am trying to actually get to Barnes & Noble. So if you're the kind of person that speaks out too much to your boss about how you think things could be better or should be better, or you complain a lot, I guess you say, the air conditioning, is there any way that could make it better in here? If you're known for saying too much, or if you get the slightest angry at somebody, then you're out. And that's how these people are just very good at controlling their tempers and being able to hide stuff, and any negative feelings they have about their job or whatever, they're able to shrug this stuff off to the point that they're able to actually function. Not only that, there's days where I feel like much more tired than other days and just don't feel like working. I just don't feel like standing up all day long for 8 hours and serving food to people for 8 hours straight or whatever. To me, having a job and keeping a job is really not as easy as people make it out to be. This is easy. I'm still tired and having some issues with sluggishness, and I'm fighting my brain today. My brain is constantly telling me that it wants to go home and just have a rest and do nothing. And it really sucks that I have to fight that off, because that happens at work too, man. When I was working at Amazon packing boxes, they want you to work 10 hours straight with 2 half-hour breaks. What do you do when your brain starts telling you after 2 hours that it's bored and then it's ready to go? What can you do? Do you just have to keep ignoring your brain for the next 8 hours and fight it and keep going? Well, that's what everybody else will tell you. I mean, the reason why everybody else will tell you that and make it seem like it's so easy to do is because they don't have that problem themselves. All right. Can you imagine packing boxes for 10 hours straight? Or let me say for three and a half hours straight before you get a half-hour break. Can you imagine not being able to take a break yourself when your body feels tired and you can't just say to yourself, oh, well, I need to take a break, I'm gonna go sit down. Amazon doesn't want you to do that. They don't like that. You'll get written up for that. You'll get in trouble. And that's inhumane, in my opinion. So to be able to work at Amazon and to cope with the environment that they have, yeah, they may pay well. On the outside, it looks like a nice deal. But what they don't show you and tell you is that on the inside, you have to bust your balls for them, man. And there's going to be people out there that are going to tell you that it's a great job and that all you have to do is go in and show your face and start packing, and it's a great job for introverts because you don't have to talk to people. Well, that's not my experience, folks. I had to talk to my manager every day. My manager would come by my station, and I would probably be one of the first people that the manager would come talk to. And every day they would ask me, how am I doing? Is there anything I need? Do I have any questions? It's not like that at every Amazon though, because the Amazon that I was at before was a sorting station up in Asheville, and it was a lot less formal than that. I did not have to talk to my manager there at all, unless there was something that I had done wrong, such as stop working for a long period of time. I would go get my station assignment. It would be written up on the board. If it was not, I would go ask somebody, whoever was at the manager's desk at that time. Most of the time it was not the actual manager himself. It was one of the lower managers. I'd say, hey, can I get my station? They would look me up and say, yep, here's your station number. I would go to my station, and then for the rest of the night, I would be alone. Nobody would come and see me, and I would do my thing. And the only time somebody would bother me would be if I was doing something the wrong way, or if I had just decided to stop working and go take a break on my own. But other than that, my idea was that Amazon was going to be a relatively stable job and a relatively easy job, for the sole fact that I didn't really have to communicate with too many people, and I knew what my expectations were going to be. So I would go in, and as long as I was abiding by their expectations, then I would be okay. Well, the problem is, unfortunately, as for me anyway, I don't feel the same way every single day. Some days I'm tired. Some days I think about the length of the shift and how I just really don't feel that I can do it on that particular day. And so as for me, just the way my brain works, I just feel that I had a lot more limitations than other people do. And I often feel as if the people that are able to tolerate those kind of jobs, somehow or another their brains are built like supercomputers in a way such that they're able to operate in a higher level manner, to the point where they're able to actually just accept orders and roll with it without any major issues at all. They may dread their day. They may wake up and say, fuck, I don't want to go today. They may sit in the parking lot and say, fuck, I really, really, really don't want to do this today. That's what I do, folks. I say, I really, really, really do not want to do this today. And I'm so adamant about it that I just straight up don't do it. And Amazon does have that factored in to their job, actually. They do have flexible time. The only problem that I had with that is that I used it all up at the very beginning. And some people may call that, I forget the word. Just not very smart. But as for me, I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. Okay? So we're still on the lookout for hopefully being able to find something that's more suitable for us. And it does take quite a bit of time for certain people anyway. Okay. Well, we're now rolling up on, as you saw, there were different paths I could take, and we did go off on a tangent. We were supposed to go to Barnes & Noble. There's the sun coming in. It's nice. I am sensing that I do have a migraine today. I'll go ahead and say that. Why do I say I'm sensing it instead of I know? It's because I don't know, actually, if that's exactly what's going on or not. I just know that my irritability well, looks like we have wound up in the back of a parking lot here. I cannot imagine that the designers planned it this way. It was some kind of formal Paul's bikeway because it did have signage, but I don't think that their intention was for people to actually take it from here. And it's even got a fence there. All right, well, I'm gonna take it from there.